So let's go through some of my search history. I searched up teen morale because I didn't know how to spell morale. I knew how to spell, like I saw it. I was looking at my old stand-up notes and I saw what I thought was morale, but it was obviously moral. And I was like, well, that's not how you spell morale. So I searched up, but I'm so dumb. I'm like, I can't put in moral because then moral will come up. And so I was like, what? Team morale. And so then that's one of the things that kind of shows you how smart I am. 10 a.m. in Hawaii, because I have shows, I'm doing shows in Hawaii, and they're going on sale at 10 a.m. in Hawaii, but I'm here in New York, and so I had to find out what time that was so that I could schedule a tweet to go out to announce to people in Hawaii, like, if they care. You know, like, I can't imagine anyone in Hawaii is like, God, I wish there was something to do here in Hawaii. Because, like, I mean, you're in Hawaii. Like, has anyone ever complained about going to Hawaii? It's like, oh, you have to go to Hawaii, that's too bad. Manchurian Candidate streaming, because I've always wanted to watch that movie. Like, you know, like, that's the thing we deal with today, is that we all have these streaming platforms that we belong to, but then, and we're like, oh, we can watch anything, but then there's always, you search, where is it available? Is it on Netflix? Is it on HBO Max? Is it on Hulu? And what inevitably happens is that the thing that you want to watch is the thing you have to pay for. So even after you're paying all this money, this isn't interesting, but that's why I'm searching it. Anyway, so Manchurian Candidate is not available on any of the free platforms. You have to pay for it. So The Babadook, I wanted to see where that was streaming, so I watched that. That's really scary. See, like, can I open up to you a little bit? I was in Vancouver for 4 months, and they were on lockdown. Like, it was kind of like, it was like the 70s. Like, it was like the pandemic 70s. Like, they didn't have indoor dining or anything. So I would just work, and then I would go back and I would watch like every movie that anyone ever told me to watch. You know what I mean? Because I know I could have been productive. I could have been working on my act, but I didn't. So I would watch all these movies. So The Babadook, which is a great movie, by the way, you should see that. And that's about, like, it's really about grief, but it's a horror film. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, it's everyone's got an Australian accent because they're Australian. That would be weird if they didn't have an Australian accent. If they're like, you know, like, I just feel like sometimes when people speak with an Australian accent, I'm like, you can drop it. You know what I mean? You can just talk normal. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that. Like Hugh Jackman, it just feels like he and Margot Robbie, I'm like, you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? It's like, look, you already got the job. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of being compared to Margot Robbie. You know what I mean? It's just like we came up together, and I call her Margot, and she gets furious. You know what I mean? Like, it was down to me and Too Big to Fail, like that movie, like the bathtub thing, where she was in the bathtub. And it was like, Adam McKay was like, should we use Jim Gaffigan or Margot Robbie? And I was like, you know what? It's like, why not help her out? You know what I mean? And he was like, really? You know, I feel like you'd be stronger at it. And I'm like, of course I'd be better at it. But what about Margot? And he goes, I think it's Margot. And I'm like, I think it's Margot. Anyway, I was wrong. It was like the second time I've been wrong. So my search history, I mean, let's be honest. It's like no one talks about what they really search for. And then, what else did I search? I searched JimGaffigan.com because I'm going on tour, and I don't know what I'm gonna do because, you know, like, I did stand up last night. Like I did like a 20-minute set, but I somehow did all the material that I have. And when I'm on tour, I'm gonna do like an hour and 15 minutes. So I just need like roughly an hour of material for when I tour. And maybe I could show this. I could probably show this during my show. Thankfully, this isn't going on the internet.